WNBA free agency is officially underway, Annie. So when you see these names and the options that the Sky have, what do you think that they're cooking up?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Angel and Camilla are very interesting pieces. And when you're talking about, getting the right players in here, there is intrigue when you have young core pieces like that, because you could be part of developing them and developing towards a title contending season. But the reality is the Sky are still very far from.
The Chicago Sky is struggling to attract top talent while other teams are stacking their rosters with star players. Despite all of Kelsey Plum's recruiting efforts at Unrivaled, free agency hasn't gone as planned for Angel Reese. This was supposed to be her big chance to help build a championship-level team, but instead, it's becoming clear that marquee players just aren't eager to join the Sky. Is this a major red flag for Chicago's future? Let's break down how this free agency period has turned into a nightmare.
You don't get told no. You're going to get the yeses. You're going to get more yeses than nos, and just being able to know that. So I'm excited for that. I know that's going to come soon.
Angel Reese boldly declared she was ready to build a super team in Chicago, but as free agency plays out, the Sky's roster is looking more uncertain than ever. Imagine Reese reaching out to top players, sending texts, making calls, only to be met with silence or polite, no thanks. Instead of stacking the team with stars, Chicago is left searching for answers.
The whole city is obsessed with you.
I know. I love it
all
here.
the time.
I feel like Baltimore here. I love it here. It does.
Kind of. A little bit. Little DMV action.
Yeah.
But Chicago is a number 3 market in the country.
Really?
It's New York, LA, and then Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago, y'all have everything. I'm not gonna lie, y'all have everything here. It's nothing here that I'm like, oh, I gotta go to a different city for it. Everything has been here.
Mila Cardoso has played a huge role in keeping the Chicago Sky relevant at a time when they desperately needed it. Without her and Angel Reese, the team might have faded into the background entirely. Their presence not only brings attention to the Sky but also makes Chicago a more appealing destination for future talent.
Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso too have brought relevance to this team that they've desperately needed in a time when, again, if not for them, they'd be completely irrelevant because of the product that they're putting on the floor.
And also make Chicago an attractive spot when you have Angel Reese and Camilla Cardoso right there, two bigs that really shined in their rookie season.
With so many star free agents available, you'd think at least one would be headed to Chicago, right? Wrong. The silence has been impossible to ignore. No big-name signings, no hype on social media, and no championship-level talent choosing the Sky. Just Angel Reese, left to figure out what went wrong.
So, lads, this is not great news, for the Chicago Sky, who are a team that obviously, they're rebuilding. This is a team that is 100% rebuilding. The problem is, they don't own their pick. So, if the Chicago Sky run it back, they're probably not making the playoffs next year. Look, I think there's going to be an improvement from Angel Reese. I think it's going to be an improvement from Cardoso. But that team with no Kennedy Carter, it's going to be real tough to get any offensive power.
Let's look at the stars who were up for grabs: Kelsey Plum, Jewel Lloyd, Brittany Griner, Alyssa Thomas, Dawana Borner, Natasha Howard, Satu Saberly, and Kelsey Mitchell. These are the kind of players who can transform a franchise overnight. So how many of them seriously considered Chicago? Not one. Maybe there was still hope. Maybe Angel Reese had a surprise move up her sleeve. But now that the biggest names have signed elsewhere, one thing is clear: Chicago was never a real option for top talent. Reese's big recruiting effort? It wasn't just a miss. It was a complete disaster.
So, not a good day for the Chicago Sky. Not a good day at all, because we have heard news from the journalist who reports on the WNBA, and because she is not a homer like a lot of the other people, normally journalists are complete homers for one team. One of the actual credible journalists reported on something. Sky fans aren't happy. They all want her fired.
To make matters worse, the Sky's front office didn't exactly help Angel Reese either. Their leading scorer, Chendi Carter, didn't even get a qualifying offer, a clear signal that Chicago isn't serious about keeping its best players, let alone attracting new ones. And those trade rumors? They went nowhere. It's almost as if the moment Reese started pitching her super team vision, free agents couldn't run away fast enough.
He had an incredible season for us last year, says the GM. She's extremely talented and is a player that can impact the game at the highest level in our league. We absolutely appreciate all she did for our team last year. However, we've made changes to our staff and we'll make changes to our roster. Those changes impact Kennedy's fit on the team, so we wanted to give her the best opportunity as a free agent.
Is Angel Reese, did she just run a coach out of town, and is she running a player out of town? their best shooter out of town? Because Kennedy Carter looks like she's ready to book it out of Chicago.
While Angel Reese was hyping up Chicago as the next WNBA powerhouse, the league's top free agents were making moves that left the sky in the dust. Picture this, a whirlwind of signings, with superstars choosing teams that offered everything Chicago lacked: stability, strong leadership, and a real shot at winning. Let's take a closer look at where the biggest names decided to shine.
The Seattle Storm are sending Jewel Lloyd to the Las Vegas Aces in a blockbuster three-team trade that moves Kelsey Plum to the LA Sparks. That's according to ESPN. As part of the deal, Seattle receives the second pick in this year's WNBA draft from LA in exchange for the Storm's number 9 pick, while the Aces also receive the 13th pick, a second-round selection from the Sparks.
According to WNBA Insider, that Illinois native Jewel Lloyd will not be going to Chicago Sky. And obviously they didn't keep Kennedy Carter. And it's looking like one player, obviously, that's been in Chicago across her careers because of her Illinois roots, is Seattle Storm guard Jewel Lloyd.
First up, Kelsey Plum. You remember her, the sharpshooter who played a key role in Las Vegas's back-to-back championships? Well, she's heading to Los Angeles. That's right, the Sparks just became a serious contender. And why did she pick LA over Chicago? Simple: elite coaching, a front office that knows what it's doing, and a franchise that isn't in total chaos. But if that stung, what happened with Jewel Lloyd had to be downright humiliating. Lloyd, a Chicago native, had the perfect chance to return home and play for her city. If teaming up with Angel Reese was so appealing, this should have been an easy decision, right? Wrong. Lloyd took one look at the Sky situation and ran straight to Las Vegas, where she'll be joining AJA Wilson. That's right, she chose championship contention over whatever mess is unfolding in Chicago.
Let's talk about the 3 big names you gotta know: Alyssa Thomas, Natasha Cloud, Brittany Griner. Let's start with Brittany Griner, joining Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard in Atlanta. Dream team? Brittany Griner was drafted to Phoenix in 2013, so it's kind of about time, and I'm so excited to see what Atlanta turns around this next season, because they really need her. Phoenix is also losing Natasha Cloud and Beck Allen, along with the number 12 pick overall in this year's draft, to Connecticut. Connecticut is giving up the triple-double queen, Alyssa Thomas, and Ty Harris.
Then there's Brittany Griner, the dominant center known for her powerful dunks. She's heading to Atlanta, making the Dream an even bigger threat. Meanwhile, Alyssa Thomas, the queen of triple-doubles, is now suiting up for Phoenix. Noticing a pattern? These stars didn't just pass on Chicago, they ran toward teams with strong leadership, clear direction, and a real shot at success. They chose places where they could thrive, not franchises stuck in chaos and locker room drama.
Indiana Fever are that golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
And speaking of Phoenix, things get even worse for Angel Reese. Not only did Alyssa Thomas land there, but she'll be teaming up with Seitu Sabally, a duo that instantly makes the Mercury a serious contender. But here's where it really stings. While Reese was busy striking out on recruits, the Indiana Fever was quietly building a championship-caliber roster. They pulled off the ultimate off-season makeover, adding battle-tested veterans like Natasha Howard, DeWanna Borner, Sydney Colson, and Sophie Cunningham. And if that wasn't enough, they even swiped Reese's own teammate, Brianna Turner, right from under her nose. To top it all off, Indiana re-signed Kelsey Mitchell, solidifying their squad. Just like that, the Fever went from a promising young team to a legitimate title threat, all while Chicago stood still.
Golden destination, and I can't help but laugh to the fans and the people online and the media commentators, unfortunately, who said that nobody wanted to play in Indiana. That doesn't make any sense.
Just trying to give myself some grace, because I know I'm not the player that I want to be just yet, but also kind of patting myself in the back, telling myself that I'm still doing great.
So, what does all of this mean? It means Angel Reese talked a big game, but the league's real stars weren't buying it. Not only did these top free agents reject Chicago, but they went out of their way to strengthen the teams that will stand in the Sky's way. It's almost as if they saw the warning signs and decided to steer clear before the drama even started. But wait, there's one more move that might just be the final dagger in Reese's so-called super team dreams. Want to hear more? Angel Reese, once confidently boasting about turning Chicago into a powerhouse, is now left staring at empty lockers and unanswered texts. The reality is setting in fast. Her vision of recruiting top-tier talent has completely fallen apart. Right now, the Sky aren't looking like an all-star squad. They're looking more like a random pickup team at the local YMCA.
Women should be able to step in and be able to go into a locker room and be able to have a safe space, or go into a gym at 3 o'clock in the morning where they want to do that. So I want to be able to just invest. So it's just been great being able to see my impact on and off the court, and not just in sports, but just being able to be a cultural impact as well has just been great.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather, the lack of elite talent in the Sky's practice facility. Did you know Chicago's current setup is basically a high school gym compared to the rest of the WNBA? While teams like the Fever, Liberty, and Aces are training in state-of-the-art facilities, the Sky are stuck in the past. And that long-awaited new facility? It won't be ready until 2026. In a league that's growing faster than ever, that might as well be a decade away.
According to league sources, Weatherspoon had lost the locker room because of a culture that catered to the needs of a few players. Dear Lord.
And I can't help but wonder, is that what happened here? Is Angel Reese and the way she wants to play, and I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media post, but she's very me, always. Me. Well, you may have a player that has decided that she's had enough of that.
And it gets even worse when you look at their record. Remember when the Sky were actually playoff contenders? Those days feel like a distant memory. Last season, they collapsed harder than a cheap lawn chair, finishing with a brutal 13-27 record, their worst since 2020. And this was after adding Angel Reese, a so-called generational rookie. Turns out, hype doesn't win games.
Throughout the year, WNBA players were demanding to be given credit for elevating the league. Angel Reese claimed that she was along with their pretend friends in the mainstream media. They wanted us to believe that the WNBA was exploding in popularity. They wanted to keep all the credit for themselves while downplaying the impact of the only star in the league, Caitlin. Jealous WNBA players will have the opportunity to earn that credit. Now, players like Angel Reese, they will be given the chance to test their star power.
But wait, it gets even messier. Reports suggest the Sky's locker room chemistry is as chaotic as a reality TV show. And who's at the center of it all? Angel Reese. Instead of making Chicago a destination for top talent, she's driving players away faster than a bad Wi-Fi signal. Just ask Gabby Williams, someone Reese personally tried to recruit. Her response? Thanks, but no thanks. Even Chendi Carter, who isn't exactly known for keeping quiet, didn't hold back her thoughts on Reese before leaving. When a player with a history of drama doesn't want to stick around, that says a lot.
Yes, it is unrivaled. It is also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip. Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.
Speaking of dysfunction, let's talk about the Sky's front office. It's a complete mess. It's like a revolving door at a fast food joint, with people constantly coming and going. There's zero stability, and free agents have taken notice. Even WNBA analyst Annie Costabile pointed out that players are hesitant to sign with Chicago because of all the instability. And honestly, who could blame them? So, where does that leave Angel Reese and the Sky? Not in a great place. While teams like the Fever are building legitimate dynasties, the Sky can't even get players to pick up the phone. It's like watching a slow-motion train wreck, painful, but impossible to ignore.
It's also unwatched. Look, let's be honest. We can sugarcoat it all you want, but if you don't have Caitlin Clark playing women's basketball, or if you're not the NCAA tournament playing women's basketball, you got nothing. Zero zip. Angel Reese may be playing in the league, but who wants to see a goofy 6'6" woman miss layups? Not I.
Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize.